going to go to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons dropped a heartbreaker to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday, losing 22-17. Very, very poor clock management to end that game. They were driving down the field. They're about the 50. It was 4th and 4, 50 some odd seconds left. It took them 39 seconds to call a play and get it off. Ultimately, end up losing that game. Before that loss to the Saints, they did win 5 of their last 6. Wins over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice, the Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. Looking at the Atlanta Falcons schedule moving forward, they do play the Broncos, Chargers, and Vikings. So we got to ask the question, guys. Way or no way, will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs? Currently, the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 3rd seed in the NFC playoffs with an 83% chance of making the playoffs. They have the 5th ranked offense in the NFL, but the 23rd ranked defense in the NFL. And if you look at the wildcard teams as of right now, we have the Packers and Commanders both sitting at, we have the Commanders and Vikings both sitting at 7 wins, and the Green Bay Packers sitting at 6 wins. So for the Atlanta Falcons to not win the division and still make it into the playoffs, I see them having to get around 10 wins. So if my math is mathing, you need 4 more wins because they are 6-4 on the season. So guys, way or no way, will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs after getting beat by the Saints on Sunday? It's supposed to be no way. The answer is no way. The Atlanta Falcons will not miss the playoffs, guys. This team seems to step up to their competition when they beat the Bucks twice. They battled the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Eagles, right? Those were all good wins, all good points. But then they lost to the Seahawks at home, and then they lost to the Saints, which is not a very good look. So this is a team that steps up to their competition, but also plays down to their competition. And when you look at their schedule moving forward, Broncos, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, I can see them winning 2 of those four games. They also play the Raiders, Panthers, and Giants. I can see them winning 2 of those 3 games as well. And if my math is mathing 2 wins here, 2 wins there, that is 10 wins, and that does get you into the playoffs. So I think they are a playoff-bound team, and I think they're going to ultimately end up winning the division and probably be a 4 seed at the end. But way or no way, guys, will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs? That is the question. That is the question. That is the question. Casey Morgan says, way. I hate to say it because I like Kurt, but I don't think they have what it takes to make the playoffs. Interesting. Even though they have the 5th ranked offense in the NFL, the defense isn't playing great, but they're ranked 23rd, right? But 5th ranked offense. If you can't stop us, my defense stops you one time. That is a dub. And John says, way. 2 words for you. Baker Mayfield, baby. Listen, John, I love me some Baker Mayfield. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that people are still sleeping on. And Mike Evans does come back this week, but Chris Godwin is out. That is a huge blow for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And losing to the San Francisco 49ers the way they did after Mooney has missed, 4 field goals at that particular time. Deebo Samuel is just punching people in the throat. Simple fact of the matter is, John, the Buccaneers have lost 4 games in a row. They lost 4 games in a row. Now they're on their bye week this week, right? Mike Evans should be back, but they play at the Giants, at the Panthers, and then they got the Raiders, at Chargers, at Cowboys, and Panthers and Saints to end the season. They're sitting at 4 wins. They have to win probably 6 or 7 games, and I'm not for sure if they can get hot and win that many times. I love me some Baker. Don't let him in the playoffs because he will upset you. But, right? Casey says, I'd like to hate Baker, but man, he's having a year. He is having a year. He had a year last year. Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Give him his credit where credit is due. But 4 losses in a row. That's tough, baby. That's tough. And John says Kurt won't get him a third time. And you are absolutely right. But they probably won't play in the playoffs. Probably won't play in the playoffs. If the Bucks even make it to the playoffs. Because Tristan Wirfs just went down with a I think it was ACL, right? I don't know. And Derek says, how many primetime games do the Atlanta Falcons have left? Because we all know what Kirk Cousins does on primetime, right? We all know what Kirk Cousins does on primetime. Let me look for you, Derek. Let me look, because I don't think the Falcons actually have any primetime games left, to be honest with you. But I will confirm that. They have one. They play, they had the Raiders on primetime. December 16th, they travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, and that is a primetime game. That is a Monday night game. Falcons versus Raiders. How is that a primetime Monday night game? What? But so there's, and then they have to be announced games versus the Commanders and Panthers, which the Commanders game might be a primetime game, but the Panthers definitely won't. So they for sure have one more primetime game, December 16th versus the Raiders. Hey, the Raiders might break their 8-game losing streak at that particular time. And Casey says, I can see that game getting flexed. Can they flex? So, Casey, I might be wrong, but I think the NFL can only flex times. They can't flex dates. Because I thought they made that a rule this year that they can't flex dates. So if you're scheduled to play on a Sunday, you're playing on Sunday. If you're scheduled to play on a Saturday, you're playing Saturday. But they can flex the times, right? So guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the way it is. I'm not 100% sure. John said,